It is not recommended to eat food during this program. This podcast contains mature subject matter, including discussions involving bodily functions and disturbing graphic descriptions, including and not limited to bowel movements, as well as a pervert who likes receiving pictures of the BMs of others for his own sick, twisted sexual pleasure. This program is not for children or any other decent person. Today's show is brought to you by Recon Techs of Springfield. Recon Tech of Springfield, your one-stop vehicle reconditioning center. Recon Techs can give you a car detail that will make your car look better than when it was new. They will clean your car like it's never been cleaned before. And it'll look amazing on the inside. And on the outside, they can give you a tsunami coating. That means all you have to do for the life of the coating, you get a 7-year coating for 7 years. You get a 5-year coating for 5 years, 3-year coating, 3 years. For the life of the coating, you will only have to wash your car. No waxing. You will not have to wax your car for the life of a coating. How about that? It's Recon Techs. Call today, 217-670-1132, and get your car set up. And Just Beds, the Yawn Exterminators, located at 3120 Montvale Drive. It's 3120 Montvale Drive. It's Just Beds. Get yourself a Just Beds bed. Just Beds, they take care of you. They'll have so many beds for you to choose from. You got your full size, your queen size, your king size beds. They've got it there. They've got one for you and your spouse, you and your significant other, whoever you sleep with. A bed for your kids or a bed for your spare room, whatever you need, they got it all. Just Beds. They've got the bed you need. And when you buy a bed, all you do is pay for it and go home. You don't have to carry a mattress on your roof of your car like a hillbilly. No, the Just Beds professionals will show up to your home and they will come in, set up your new bed, and even tear down your old one and dispose of it properly. It's Just Beds, 3120 Montvale Drive. Welcome to the Morning Disaster. My name is Ray. That is Christina. She has returned. She has returned from her flu.
Yes, I have. Lucky for you all.
But we think someone on the show has the flu.
Or
he claims he has the flu.
No, he sounded pretty bad yesterday during Wake and Bake.
Mm-hmm.
Until when I first brought him on, I was like, oh shit, he looks rough. He said it was just a cold, but I think he picked up this flu when he had his little house party.
So he was
that's where I picked it up at.
He was smoking weed while he was sick. Mm-hmm. You know, he aspirated it.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
My wife and daughter are preparing to leave.
Oh boy.
Yeah. They got everything. Got everything in the car loaded up. They're going to be taking off here seconds.
Well, they picked a perfect time to go with this damn cold snap coming through.
I know. It's cold now, right? But
yes, it is 2 degrees right now.
Oh my God.
The highest 13 degrees today. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Unbelievable.
Unnecessary.
Yeah. Yes, Mother Nature. You whore, Mother Nature.
Yeah.
You dirty whore.
She's a bipolar bitch.
Yeah, I tell you what. Oh. Damn you, Mother Nature.
Yeah. So cold. Mm-hmm. Took Ellie down to the bus this morning and I'm like, no, I don't want to do this. Too damn cold.
Just Elliot?
Yes, because Gabriel stayed home today. Gabriel now has the flu.
Oh. Poor Gabriel.
I shared with everyone.
Oh, boy. And how about Dan?
Yeah, Dan had it for a couple days.
Oh, so Dan got a lighter?
Yep. His was very mild compared to mine.
But he's feeling fine now, huh?
Yeah, he went back to work today.
I'll be damned.
So,
Didn't you have
think he's
work off?
Do what?
You didn't even have to take any work off or anything?
He took off last week.
I'll be damned. Good
Stay
for him.
home, take care of me, but
I'll be damned.
he's back to work today. And
Mm.
Gabriel has it now. Elliot had it for like, this is the weirdest thing. Elliot had it for one day,
Yeah.
but he had the stomach part, the
Oh,
stomach part of it. Like he had the shits for a day, slept all day.
I bet
Next day,
I bet he was using his bidet like crazy.
oh, yeah, he was. He was living in the bathroom. But the next day he woke up, he's like, I'm good as gold. I'm just fine. I'm like,
when you're that young, you gotta remember when you were that young.
oh yeah. You get over stuff real quick. Aw.
My wife's taking off.
Aw.
Yep. She made me eggs.
Well, that was nice of her.
Yeah, I love it. Oh well. Tom says, "Rest in peace, Steve. I mean, get well, Steve."
Yeah, I just hope he doesn't get it as bad as I had it, because it'll kill him.
You might not make it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm serious. It was bad. It was worse than freaking COVID.
Yeah, you never missed the show. I mean, you've done the show with a cold before, but I knew it was bad when you missed the show. I was like, okay, she must be feeling like shit.
Yeah, I lived on the couch for a week.
Oh boy.
It was horrible. I slept a lot. I ran a fever all day. It was a Wednesday and Thursday. And it was kept climbing. And Dan's like, I'm going to take you to the emergency if your temp gets any higher Thursday night.
So all you had was the lung stuff?
Yeah. The lungs, and I was running a fever, and
the stomach end of it?
Nope.
I'll be damned.
I did not, thank God. But I think I would have rather had that than what I had.
You gave
this is the best I've felt, but it's still like I have all the respiratory. I'm congested still, but
so for Dan, you gave him the flu for Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Exactly.
Wonderful.
That was our Valentine's Day. We went to the prompt care. It was wonderful. And then he started getting sick. So yeah.
How romantic.
I know. Well, sharing is caring, right?
Mm-hmm. I'll be damned.
Yeah.
Well, today will prove that we could do a show without Steve. We'll see. We'll see. So when Steve dies, we'll know whether or not we could ever do a show, because I don't think we can.
Sure wouldn't be the same.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. What are we going to do on the show without Steve's commentary?
I know.
And accusations. And
what we do.
And FUs to anyone that he does not agree with. I mean, what will we do?
I don't know.
Katie says she lives.
Yeah.
So even though you're sick, you're still talking to Katie?
Well, yeah, I was talking. I had my phone the whole time. When I wasn't sleeping, I was watching TV or playing on my phone.
You're so much friendlier than I am. It's amazing. You have these relationships with
I'm very friendly.
You have relationships with our fans outside of the show. Wow.
Mm-hmm. I talk to Katie. I talk to Holly all the time.
Wow. Very jealous of you.
Yeah. See, they actually like me.
I'm very jealous of what you have going on. Very jealous. For I have nothing. Oh well.
I'm sorry. I can't help it. They like me better than they like you. Sorry, Holly. I was probably sleeping. or out of it.
Ray said, or Holly says, we would talk to you, Ray, but you never responded to text.
She does have a point.
I don't look at my phone a lot.
There's sometimes he doesn't even respond to me, Holly. So
Yeah, I don't like. I'll have a text on like Dan last week. I send him a text and then I bitched that he doesn't.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't reply to my text. However, he did reply to my text.
Yeah, he did.
I just never look. I just assume people are blowing me off when they're not. Yeah, I'm just I have issues. Oh
Yes,
well.
we know. We are well aware.
I have a lot of issues. Yeah. Forgive me. I mean, I'm saying that I'm jealous that Christina talks to people, but I'm not. Roy says his life's a shit show. You need that. Well, the one person I try to talk to is Steve, and he never answers my text. He'll never answer my text. Goddamn Steve. Yeah. I don't know. I have nothing going on. But
yeah, he told me you were messaging him Sunday about the race, wanting to know when's this goddamn race starting. Yeah. Did you watch any of it?
No, but, well, because I went over there, but they were showing the race from last year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and watch a race from last year. What the hell is that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Usually what they do when they're wasting time.
But I guess they eventually did.
Yeah, they eventually started.
I don't even know when, but
like 4 hours later.
Oh, what the hell is that? I watched Saturday Night Live, their 50th anniversary show.
Oh yes,
Eddie Murphy.
We went back and watched the concert, and then I was just like, "Oh my god!" So then it's like we have to watch it Sunday night, and then the race ran in and ruined that. So we started it last night. We haven't got all the way through. So, but
oh my god,
saw it was great.
Eddie Murphy is so good.
Yeah,
he is Eddie Murphy and Will Ferrell. When I look at Saturday Night Live, Eddie Murphy and Will Ferrell.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a sketch that they both do. It's Keenan, Eddie Murphy, and Will Ferrell. I think 3 of the best all-time Saturday Night Live members, and they're all in the same skit. And I got to tell you, it's so freaking funny. It is so good. I was blown away by how good. And when Eddie Murphy did the Tracy Morgan impersonation, oh my God.
I asked him, like, how is he keeping a straight face doing this? Like, I would have been dying.
He sounded exactly like him. Oh my God. I'm telling you, I loved that episode. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I can't wait to finish watching it. Yeah. We even got Elliot. Elliot has never seen Saturday Night Live. He's only 16, so he doesn't know all the older stuff. But
I was like, when Saturday Night Live debuted, I was like 7, I think, or something like whatever, 8, however old I was. But I watched the first season. I watched the first season of Saturday Night Live and loved it. I remember Steve Martin's first appearance, because when Steve Martin made his first appearance, he did that song, King Tut.
Yes. I love that. I
remember watching Saturday Night Live and I loved it. And so I've been watching it for all 50 years. I just love that show. So it was a love letter to me. That's how I took it. I love that show Sunday night. It was great. Just fantastic. And then Paul McCartney ends up, I'll spoil it, but he ends up being, he's the guest at the end that comes out and the song he chose to do was Golden Slumbers, and to carry that weight into the end. Well, that's how he ends the show, and it's freaking classic Beatles from the Abbey Road
Oh,
album,
wow.
and it is freaking fantastic.
Wow.
It was fantastic. I
can't wait.
loved it.
Can't wait to finish it. But yeah, Elliot's hooked on it now. He's requested that we watch it every Saturday night now.
Oh, it is a fabulous show. He's right around the age that I was addicted to it. I loved that. Loved that show. Of course, when I was his age, that's when Eddie Murphy was on it. Eddie Murphy, every single week that Eddie Murphy was on that show, it was a home run. There was no such thing as a bad episode because Eddie Murphy was on it.
Right.
It was fantastic. So I really, really loved that 50th anniversary celebration. It was great. Yeah, so that was pretty cool to have that on Sunday. And I don't know how many times I'll watch it. I'll go back and watch it on Peacock. I don't know how long they're going to keep it up there, but
yeah, I don't know.
God, I just loved every second of it. What a fantastic show that was.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to be like 11 o'clock, and I'm like, Elliot, don't you have school tomorrow? He's like, yeah, can you go turn it off so I can go to bed? Like, he wouldn't let us finish watching it without him. So I was like, we'll wait for you because he's hooked.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the 40th anniversary 10 years ago was fantastic. If you can watch that, I can't believe that. I wish they would show that on. I wish they would show that on Peacock. The 40th anniversary special was amazing. I loved it. They did a 25th anniversary and a 40th anniversary that were amazing. And last night's Sunday nights was fantastic too. These big specials are always great. You know, they really go all out. They had a red carpet event and I missed it.
Oh, damn.
And I guess Catan and Maria Libri were on the red carpet. You saw them, so she looked great, had her tits all out there. Oh my
good God.
I saw a picture of it.
That would be what you would notice.
Oh, she's so good. Maria Libri's so good looking. A gift from above. And then you look at Chris Kattan, you know? You look at Chris Kattan, and you look at her, and you go, wow, how in the hell?
You're like, yeah, how did that happen? Like,
it's amazing, though, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing. God forbid. I think that's how I was when my wife and I were young, and I was fat as a house. I mean, literally, I was so fat and out of control. And she was so gorgeous. People looked at me and they had to go, how in the fuck did that happen? I'll tell you now, I saw myself last night in the mirror, Christina, like the first time I usually walk by a mirror and I just sort of glance at it. Maybe glance, but I don't take time to, look close or anything.
Right.
But by the way, Roy says drugs have ruined Chris Kattan. No, it wasn't. He hurt him. Chris Kattan, in defense of Chris Kattan, he hurt his neck. His neck was doing the physical comedy. He hurt his back and neck really bad, so he had to have a surgery. And the surgery fused his neck and spine or something. So now that he's gotten older, he's got to do a bunch of neck exercises and stuff. So it's done something to his neck. If you look at pictures of him younger and pictures of him today, you'll notice it's the neck, the thing that, it's not drugs that have done him in. It's his neck. because the way he moves, like when he turns to look at someone, he has to do this. It's not, because he can't move his neck in certain ways. So he's not he's not slowed down by drugs. He's slowed down from an actual injury. He had to have a surgery and stuff. But I think he hurt himself. I think it was SNL when he hurt himself,
Oh, God. I wouldn't be surprised.
Tom says she was so gorgeous. The last words are very loud before D crushes him with bookshelves. No. Yeah, here we go. Katie says it was a skit on SNL where he injured it. He fell backwards out of a chair. Yeah, and it did something to his neck and spine, and he had to have something fused. So the way he turns, he can't just turn and look at like that way. He has to actually turn his whole body.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not drugs that have hurt him. It was an actual injury, and he got it fixed. I don't think he might drink a little bit, but I don't think he's on any drugs. I'll tell you the other thing is he used to do that bit where he and Will Ferrell would.
Yep, Night at the Roxbury.
I don't think he can do that bit anymore. I don't think his neck will allow him to do it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But the guy's still funny as shit. His stand-up's funny. Yeah. Yeah, so good for him. Yeah. Oh, Caddy says, I thought Catan had an opioid addiction due to the pain. Oh, he could have. Maybe he did, yeah.
It happens. It's very common, so very well could have.
I've never been addicted to opioids, thank God. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Never been addicted to opioids. I wouldn't know. Like, I'm very scared of them. Whenever I've been hurt and they give me what to take, and I'm always like, I don't want opioid, because I've heard all these different horror stories about opioids, so I'm automatically scared of them. Yeah.
Probably a good thing.
Because I'm such a, you know how I am. I overreact to everything.
Yes, you do.
I probably could have taken them without, I probably could have taken them without getting addicted, but, why find out?
Exactly.
All it takes is one. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or fentanyl. I've never tried fentanyl. I've heard it's glorious, but I've never tried it. I don't want to find out because I think I would be one of the people that,
you would become addicted.
Yeah.
So just don't.
Yeah. I'm better having never tried it. Like heroin. Never tried it. Never had to worry about heroin addiction because I've never tried it. And I do have. Holly says, do you have an addictive personality? Really?
Not Ray.
Have you seen Fat Ray? Have you seen Fat Ray? Obviously, there was an addictive personality there. Addicted to sweets and.
Yeah. Those are so hard not to get addicted to.
I tried opium. I just never tried an opioid. Yeah. No, I loved opium.
Oh, good God.
I tried it once when I was a kid. Oh, my God. That was the best thing ever. That's why I never did it again. Have you ever done anything that was so good that you go, oh, no.
No, can't say that I have.
You've never done something that was so good? Like one time I was dating this girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I hooked up with another girl while I was dating this. I was dating one girl. and I hooked up with this other girl who I knew, but we'd never had that kind of relationship before. And we got drunk and hooked up one night. And then, we just laughed it off. No big deal. And then time went by. And I was working in Springfield at WYMG. And this girl was working in Springfield too. And we would always laugh. She'd always say, I want another shot at you. And I'd be like, what? And she goes, well, because we were impeded when we hooked up. I'm like, yeah. So, and I'm like, are you complaining about my? And she said, no, it wasn't you. She just said, she goes, I wasn't at my best, so I'd like to hook up again and give you my best. And I'd laugh it off.
Right.
I'd laugh it off. That's crazy. And then one night I was working overnights at YMG and she calls me. And she goes, what are you doing after work? And I go, well, when I get off work at 6:00. So I don't know. Maybe eat something because I didn't eat before. I said, maybe I'll eat some breakfast and then go to bed. And she goes, you want company? I'll go to breakfast with you. And I said, yeah. So the girl meets me at like 6:30 or whatever. And we go to some Tom's Big Boy.
Mm-hmm.
And we go to this Tom's Big Boy. And then we leave Tom's Big Boy. And we go back to the apartment I was staying in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she comes over and we're laughing and I really like the girl. It was just a nice girl. And we're laughing. Then we got relaxed and she goes, I said, I got to go to bed. I'm tired. And she goes, all right. And then she goes, I'll go to bed with you. And I was like, what? And she goes, I told you I didn't give my best. I went, oh yeah. So I was like, all right, fine. The girl went to the bedroom with me. And I had never in my life experienced sex like this girl gave me. It was this, and this was sex at 7:00 in the morning. But she completely rocked my world. I mean, it was, and it came out of nowhere. I was not expecting it. But she said, she goes, I'm really good at sex. And I was like, well, sure you are. Because I know we had it that one time and it certainly wasn't anything special,
Mm-hmm.
But she told me she was very good at it. And I was like, whatever. But that morning, she blew my mind. I was like, oh my God. And I mean, I liked her. We were friends. She was very cool. And she was attractive. She was a little older than me, but she was attractive and she rocked my world. And when she left, after finishing, she got up, got dressed, gave me a kiss, and left. And I was just laying there going, oh my God.
Wow.
I'm like, I can never, ever hook up with her again. I said, I can never, ever hook up with her again. Because how would you say no to that? You know what I mean?
You couldn't.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. She rocked my world. And so I was like, I never want to discuss this. I never want to tell her that she was great. So I made a decision. It was kind of like when I did the opium. I was like, that was fantastic, but let's store that in the bank. Great memory, and let's never try that again.
Yeah.
Because I could see myself getting addicted to that.
Mm-hmm.
So we never talked about it again. I never hooked up with her again. Ever. Because I knew, I mean, it was amazing. That girl was right. It was amazing.
Wow.
And I think that there were times where she said, well, I told you that I was better. And I think I laughingly said, well, you were correct. It was very, very good the second time. You know what I mean? I laughed it off, but in my head I was going, holy crap. I got to do that again. Never did. I didn't. Because the girl I was dating, I was in love with the girl that I was dating. So I didn't want to fall, I didn't want to do anything untoward, because at the time, I think I was maybe 18 or 19 years old. I mean, I was young,
Right.
but this was, this girl was very, very good. She was not lying. She was very good. It was a nice memory of Tom's Big Boy and this girl. It was a fine morning for me.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And the girl that I was dating, was great. She was great. We ended up living together and everything, but we eventually broke up because, I was driven crazy. But
is that the one that followed you in the bathroom all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That girl was great, and she would do anything. But I'll tell you what, praying to God that neither of these girls are listening. The girl from Tom's Big Boy, she was better. The other girl I lived with never got to the level of the Tom's Big Boy girl. That's because she was so good. Holy crap. Never did it again, though. Never did it again. I'm very proud of myself. I was very proud of my discipline. You never know though. Like I thought if I would have hooked up with that girl again, you never know. I might have become addicted, and that means I never would have met my wife. Who knows? Maybe I wouldn't have moved to places.
Exactly. Could have changed the whole course.
Yep.
Your whole timeline.
Instead, I stayed on the proper course and met my wife.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a good thing you didn't hook back up with her.
Yeah, it's a good thing. But I got a fine memory of it. Well, it's been a long time, so I certainly don't remember everything. I don't remember any details. I just remember it was very good. But even to remember it was very good after all these years, because this was literally 30 some odd years ago. And I could still, you know what I mean? I can't remember everyone that, I can't remember every situation I've been in. I wish I could. Can you remember every situation you've ever?
No.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I can't remember everyone, but I can remember this one because this girl was very good. But
you have the ones that stick out and the other ones just so they fade away.
I remember this girl was so good. I can never be with her again because it would throw me off. And I be honest, I think that I needed to date the girl that I eventually lived with because she made me appreciate when I eventually met my wife, she really made me appreciate my wife. You know,
Mm-hmm.
because that girl was so bad at I mean, I loved her and she loved me. She's a sweet girl, but um if I wasn't with her, I don't think I would have met my wife. You know, because that girl and I were destined to fail.
Right.
But if I would have broke up with that girl to go with the one who rocked my world, God knows what you know. And I think that girl was into drugs or something too. I don't know for sure for a fact, but
Oh,
not
wow.
not heavy drugs, but
Right.
you know, I think that I might have changed trajectories. And she was really educated and you know, she would have driven me to do something different, I think so. God knows. But I ended up meeting my wife and now I'm very happy. So God knows how different my life would have been had I had I succumbed to addiction. You know, I could have been an
Mhm.
opium. I could have been an opium addict
Oh,
living
good
in a
God.
van, having awesome sex with some girl who was, by the way, the girl was older than me. She was older than me, um, which wasn't a big deal then, but I think now it would be a big deal. Like she would be in her 60s now. I could not imagine. Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
I could not imagine being with someone in their 60s until I'm in my my wife now is always younger than me. There's no way around it. She's always going to be younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but so I saw myself in the mirror as I was walking by. And I got to tell you, I look from until about here when I until I get to that area of skin and
Oh, good God.
until that flopping skin, the bottom. I mean, I really could tell my weight loss.
You finally noticed.
I could really, and I was like, oh my God, what happened? Am I sick?
Mm-hmm.
I really noticed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you don't really see it when you look at
Yeah.
yourself. You always see the old.
I always see Fat Ray. I see Big Fat Ray. I'm still Fat Ray, but I see morbidly, clinically morbidly obese Ray.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the first time I looked at myself and went, holy shit, who's that? Looking back at me. And then I looked and noticed, oh my God.
And now you're going to do that every time. You're going to be obsessed looking in the mirror. Because that's how I was after I had got down to my smallest after I had my surgery.
Yeah.
I just happened to walk by a mirror or window or I saw my reflection and I'm like, what the hell? And I'm looking, I'm like, that's not me. So then I was obsessed. Like I was like, every time I couldn't pass a mirror or a window or anything that showed my reflection. And I would just stare like, that's not me. You know,
I mean,
it's just
I've always looked at my face, but
Mhm.
I don't look at my body. So you actually went through this too. There was a time where you actually looked at your body and went, holy crap, what the?
Yeah. It became an obsession.
Just happened to me this on, was it last night? There was a night I knew I was gonna have sex. Of course, we've been having a lot of sex because my wife was leaving. So, you know,
Yeah.
had to get everything.
Got to send her away happy.
Absolutely. Well, yeah. And, she had to
And take care of your needs.
Yeah, and take care of my needs. God forbid there's a plane crash.
Oh, God.
If there's a plane crash, God knows when I'll have sex again. You know what I mean? Who knows? It could be, you know, if something were to happen to my wife, I got to be honest. I don't know if I'd ever have sex again. You know, I don't think I could.
You would.
I mean, I don't know. You're always joking. Well, I would bang someone before the body got cold, but no, I'm telling you, the reality is, I think the trauma would be so great. You know, Who knows? I might never have sex again. So it's like with her leaving, you know, with her leaving, we want to make sure that I'm taken care of properly, you know. And her, if she's going down on a plane, I'd like her to think, well, thank God I had all that sex with Rayan before.
Exactly. That'll be her last thought.
Yeah.
She'll be holding Bella's hand as they're going down. Good thing your dad had sex with me before I left.
Well, I'd like to think. I'd like to think that I would somehow be in there somewhere, you know. Thank God I left him happy, you know. So, you know, because I don't know. If something were to happen to her, I don't know what I'd do. I can't even fathom it. Even joking about it, I can't even fathom. I can't even bring myself to the place to say it. It just, you know, like if Steve was here, I'm sure I'd be guy bragging. Oh, I'd bang some 30-year-old or something. But no, the last thing I'm thinking of it would be to have sex with anybody else if anything happened to her. I don't know what I'd do. But yeah, just in case. You have to, when you're leaving for a big trip like that, you gotta, you know. That's been the best. I'll be honest. That's been the best part about her leaving is the prolonged, you know, last moments.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when she's gonna go and then something happens with the weather or something happens to delay the flight. Because then I get whatever night we're originally planning. And then the next day the flight gets canceled or moved or something. And then I get that night too. You know, those have been the best ones.
Mm-hmm.
But I've gotten a lot of action before she's had and as soon as she gets home on trips, I've had a lot of action. So, you know, it sucks when she's gone, but it's been great right before she leaves and right when she gets home. It's been fantastic. So DA says, Ray, it will happen. Thank you, DA. And you will have a lot of feelings, but you can work through them to move on. Well, I hope it never happens. I hope.
I think you had a long time.
Yeah. I hope that she outlives me. I don't ever want to go. I don't ever want to go.
Good God.
I don't ever want to go through that, but oh well. Yeah. Yep. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking. Man, but I'll miss, you know. Kelly says, I'm sure she loves you talking about it. Well, you know that she's not listening. She's going
No.
to the airport. She's driving to St. Louis. So, Joel says, how many days of not having sex should she have before heading back home? Just that there's no sex. She didn't have any sex on this. You should have no sex when down in Texas, Joel. Thank you for your concern. People joking. Sean will watch over D if I die. Trust me.
Oh God.
If I die, the level of man my wife is going to get will be much greater than Sean Balint. If I die, trust me, my wife's next husband, she will marry for money.
Yeah, but Sean
It will
will
be-
try.
It will be some guy who's loaded. That's what it's going to be. She's already had her poor husband. I mean, I haven't been poor. You know, I used to have money, but I'm poor now. She's already had her poor husband. The next one will have money if I die. So at least that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking for her.
Yeah, if she's smart, that's what she'll do.
But I plan on being alive. I plan on being alive, and you know. Jeff says she'll marry the ICE agent who hauls your. No, my ass is not going to be taken by ICE agent. ICE agents have nothing over me. I am an American citizen. I am protected by the Constitution of the United States of America. I was born in Chicago. I am very American. I no longer understand Spanish. So
Wow.
they send me away. I don't know. Jeff says Goose stays. Well, so are you suggesting I'm the only one from my family that was independent?
I think so.
My family, trust me, I have the Scottish last name. I have the Scottish last name. It's not like I have the the Mexican last name. I mean, then I would be in fear. If my last name was Parron, I think that they would.
Yeah, you might have to worry then.
But my uncle, huge Trump supporter. Huge Trump supporter, but he's very brown. He's very brown. And his last name is Barron. He'll get deported before me. And his father from Mexico. See, I'm a second generation. He's first generation. They'll deport him before they deport me. So that would be great. I mean, no, it wouldn't be great.
What?
I mean, I'm just saying if we were both on the verge of getting deported, it'd be great if they deported him instead of me. But I'm saying he's a big supporter, so you know.
Right.
I don't know if you know. My wife is certainly not going to marry an ICE agent. No, but I think if I died, the next guy she'd marry would have money. You know, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Cindy says, will my wife sell the comic book collection or burn it? Number one, it's very troubling that someone's thinking about that. It's very, very troubling that someone is thinking about what to do with my comic book collection. But, you know, I was joking And my buddy Bob Gordon owns comic book shop in Peoria, and he buys estates all the time. Like he buys leftover comics of dead people all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I have given Bob permission. I said, unless I have a grandchild, because you never know. I mean, Bella might have a son or daughter who loves comics. It'll
Right.
go to them if they love comics. My daughter could care less about it, but she couldn't care less about books. But I'm saying that it would go to my grandchild if they care about it. And I will make sure that my grandchild cares about comics. So Katie says, have you seen some of those ICE agents smoke? Please, no. To you to even suggest that my wife is gonna hook up with someone who's deporting people. My wife is Mexican also. She's also Mexican. She's never gonna date an ICE agent. Good Lord.
You never know.
I can tell you that I do know, and the answer to that is she's never going to hook up with an ICE agent. Yeah. No, Bob wasn't sniffing around my collection. We were there in Peoria, and I was joking with Bob. I said, if I die, Bob, Dee has my permission to sell the collection to you. So I told him that when I die, I expect him to make a good, legitimate offer on my comic book collection. You know what I mean? And not the low ball. I said, I don't want the regular low balling. I want you to give her top dollar for my collection. Yep.
Yeah.
Holly says she's leaving all her jewelry and diamonds to her niece and her two girls. She just keeps collecting. Travis buys for her and she saves them. They each have diamond earrings and a lot of rings and necklaces. That's nice. Very nice, you, Holly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Corey says, if you die, your wife has permission to sell everything. You're dead. What does it matter then? Well, because now, by giving her permission, now I get the benefit from it. Because she goes, oh, it's very nice of him. I don't want her to just openly realize, well, he'll be dead. I can do whatever the hell I want. No, I want to get credit for it while I'm alive. That's why I make a big deal out of it. I know I can't take comics to the grave with me. However, I might pick a couple omnibuses that I get buried with.
Oh, good God.
I would want you to make sure that they get put into my coffin or burned with me if I'm whatever the hell my wife decides to do,
Oh, better get that in writing.
It's hard to come out and just say, I want to be cremated.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's that very, very slight possibility that one day science might create something that they could take dead bodies and shoot them up with something, all of a sudden they get reanimated. I would hate to miss out on that chance. However, it's highly unlikely. And it's cheaper. Isn't cremation cheaper?
Yes, it is.
So I think it would be better for my wife to cremate me. You know what I mean? Than to bury me. So I think it costs a lot to bury someone.
Yeah, it's insane.
Dan says the only thing Ray's going to take with him to the grave is his birthday cake, so nobody else gets any. You're damn right.
That damn cake.
I couldn't even eat all my birthday cake this year. I couldn't even eat it all. But I didn't give any away.
So you'd rather it sit and go bad than share your freaking cake. Wow.
It's my birthday cake. It's just for me. We threw it away.
You could have froze it.
Nope. Oh, you're right. I probably could have.
Little single slices and freeze them, and as you want one, pull a piece out.
Yeah. I love my birthday cake, but
no, let it go bad. Rather than share it.
EA says, is all this death talk to prepare the listeners for a bad wellness check on Steve?
Oh God. I hope not, God.
No, I don't think Steve's dead. No, he's sick.
No, he's got this damn flu.
Yeah, he was even saying last night that he's very he wasn't feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
He said, not sure if I'll be out in the morning. I'm definitely getting sick. And he sent that at 10 o'clock yesterday morning.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yep. Poor guy.
Oh, well. I see that my buddy Paul said, unfortunately, there will be no. Oh, let's see what he said. What did he say? Hold on. Is that what I'm looking at? That's not what I'm looking at. Oh, he reacted. Oh, he reacted to the trivia post. I thought he was reacting to something we said today. Because the reason I mentioned my friend Paul is it was his bed that I used when I had sex with that girl who was really good, who blew my mind.
Oh my.
Yep.
You had sex in your buddy's bed.
Yeah, he was gone.
Did you hopefully change the sheets afterwards?
No. He was.
Oh.
He had to go to Seattle or something for like 2 months, and he let me stay in his apartment. So I had sex with several people in his bed.
I'm sure you
I was
did.
just pointing out the one that was very good.
Oh, good God.
But it was his bed was the one I used. I don't need him to find out because,
I'll be sure to let him know.
Yeah, I didn't. No, because he slept in that bed when he got back. He had no idea what he slept in.
Oh my God, that poor man.
Yeah. So let's keep it that way. I don't need him finding out. We don't want him knowing what was going on in that bed.
Yes, he's listening.
Trust me. And by the way, I had John Lamb come over and stay with me. John Lamb, this guy had a great apartment with a master bedroom, and then there was a second bedroom that I slept in. And then when he left, I moved over to the master bedroom, and I had Lamb come over, and Lamb stayed in the bedroom that, he stayed in the bedroom that was mine, but we would bring girls over there. And I don't.
Of course you did.
I didn't need Paul finding out what was going on. There was all kind of action going on in those beds. Yeah, those were great days. Those were great times. Oh well. Lamb and I were both working at YMG. It was crazy back. This is the 80s. This is the late 80s in Springfield.
Mm-hmm.
In the late 80s in Springfield, Illinois, if you were working at WYMG and you were under 20 years old, oh my God. Number one, you could drink because you worked at YMG. Like you go to a bar, You'd go to a bar, even though you're 19, you say, "Oh, I work at WYMG. Oh, here you go. Here's a free beer."
Oh, wow.
They never bothered to check. They never bothered to check an ID. They wouldn't even, they never even could. They just figured, well, you're working at WA. Like WYMG wouldn't hire someone under 21
Underage. Yeah.
to host a show. Boy, you people are on. We were both under 21. So we drink whenever we want. We got away with murder. Yep.
Wow.
Nobody would ever, nobody would ever, like, we'd be drinking in front of cops. Nobody would know. Nobody would say anything. There was one event that was at the, there was one event out at, what do they call that out there at, water, at that water park. What is that? Knights Action Park?
Knights Action Park. Yep.
Trade Winds. There's that Trade Winds.
Yeah.
They would have outdoor concerts. And we'd go out there and we would host we'd get on stage and announce the bands and all that stuff. And everybody'd give us free beer. And we'd be over there drinking with the cops. And nobody ever asked us for IDs, but both of us were like, no. I think Lamb was 20 and I was 19.
Wow.
And no one ever, considered it. We weren't even old enough to drink. But yet, back then.
Yeah, different times back then.
Times were different, yeah.
Can't get away with that shit now.
But when you were if you were regionally famous, when you're on YMG, people know who you are in this town. They would give us, we never had to pay for beer. We shouldn't have even been anywhere near beer.
No.
And we're just sitting there drinking and laughing with the cops, and we're laughing at all the other drunk people. I mean, the cops weren't drinking, but we were. Nobody bothered to ask, how old are you guys? Oh, but back then we could have said, 19. They would have laughed and said, have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Roy says, I was in the military and no one ever asked. Yeah, it's like when you're in the military,
Right.
no one ever asked. If you're risking your life for your country, you should be allowed to have a fucking, come on.
No questions asked.
Just like, if you're risking your life to entertain people on the radio, you should be allowed.
That's so risky.
Yes, you should be allowed to have alcohol. No one should ever question. No one should ever question. So we got away with it. Those are good. The 90s were good times. I like the 90s. Or the 80s. 80s were a wonderful time. There's a lot of cocaine back then. I was offered a lot of never did it. But I was offered a lot of cocaine. Dan said he used to get free beer because people thought he was part of the morning show. I mean, you were. I mean, Dan was one of those listeners he was always on the Morning Disaster. People knew who he was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dan said he was carded all the time when he was in the Army, probably because he looked like he was 14. Or because he's short. I think those are identity politics, Dan. People should not have taken or thought less of you because you're only 5 foot. What is he? 5'4", maybe?
5'4". He's 5'4".
People shouldn't have thought that just because you're short.
Right.
That sucked that he got carded. Holly says, I think I just read that 18 to 20 you can drink in a bar if you're with your parents. I don't think you can now. I think at one time you could, but I don't think you can now. They've gotten.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, that sounds like something that was allowed at one time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Dan says he's 5. He's 5'4.5".
Don't forget that half-inch, damn it.
Roy says he thinks he started listening to me in San Antonio. No, I wasn't in San Antonio in 86. I didn't move to Texas till 89. I was in Texas in like 89 and 90 and you know. Roy goes, hold up. Did you just compare a radio gig to being a soldier? What the fuck? I was obviously joking.
It was a joke. Calm down, Corey.
No, are you kidding? No, I was not. No. I would have loved to. I would have loved to have been in the service. You know what I mean? I would have loved to have served my country in the service. I think I would have done a good job. I mean, I'd like to think I'd done a good job. By the way, Cindy says, I think there's a new bill in the House for what Holly's saying. Oh, where the hell is that? How are they going to pass that?
Wow.
Yeah. No, I started professional radio in 1987. I was very young. And, you know, that's when I started. I started on WYMG when I was in 1987. So, yep. There you go. Those are good times. That was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Working at WYMG in the late 80s was a good time. Because that was the station. You're too young to remember, Christina, but
yeah, it wasn't.
There was no QLZ. YMG was it. You know, it was a lot of fun. You know who I wish I'd have been with and I never was? That Liz.
Oh, wow.
I wish I could have hooked up with her. Never did. Never did. Came close a couple times. Never did anything. Why did I have such morals and such, you know? Why was I such an upstanding citizen?
That's a good thing.
Curses. I'd like to have had that memory in my bank.
Oh, good God.
I hooked up with Lizzie. I loved her, though. I love Liz. She was great.
You can fantasize about her while Deidre's gone.
Well, I can't fantasize. No, not now. Good Lord, I'm not going to fantasize about her now. She's almost 70. God damn. Son of a bitch.
Her back then.
Fantasize. So I can fantasize about her back then. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I meant back then, not now.
She was hot as hell back in the 87, you know, or 88. I was kind of hot. I wouldn't say hot, but I was kind of, you know. Dan says if a person can vote in the elections and sign his or her life away in the military, he or she should be allowed to drink and forget. Yeah, you're damn right.
I
You're
agree.
damn right. By the way, Corey says that in Wisconsin you could drink in the bar as long as your parents are with you at 14.
What? 14.
Yeah.
That's
Wisconsin's a state
crazy.
of bad. That's a state of bad decisions.
Yeah. Stay away from that place.
Yep. Oh well.
14.
Yep.
I couldn't even imagine Elliot drinking at 16 now, let alone 14. God damn.
Well, kids now, they don't want to drink.
Good.
It's so hot.
Yeah.
Like when I was 16 in the 80s, fuck yeah, you wanted to drink. You drink to get drunk. You wanted to get drunk because, there was so much, there was so much bad stuff. You just wanted to forget it. And, it was back when we were making three something an hour. The minimum wage was so low. In fact, when I started at WYMG, I think they started me out making. I think they gave me $5 an hour to start out with, but the minimum wage was like 3 something. And then they gave me we got the ratings in, and they gave me, I can't remember what it was, but they gave me I want to say like $10 an hour or something. So the minimum wage was 3 something, but they gave me like $10 an hour. That was actually pretty cool,
Wow.
because I was doing Saturday nights, and WYMG in 1988, the ratings came out, and WYMG was the highest rated rock station in the United States. That's how big the ratings were.
Damn.
It was gigantic. And my show on Saturday night was rated, and for the numbers that I got, it was amazing. It was, I want to say, in the city of Springfield, it's like 60 or 70% of all radios were listening to my show. So they gave me, the general manager's name was Patty Donsbach, and she approved a raise for me. Like I said, I wasn't even 21 yet. She approved a raise for me that paid me over $10 an hour. And this is in 1980s, because the ratings were so good. And so I can't imagine because back then it would have been Don and Liz doing mornings and Kiefer doing afternoons. I have no idea what they were making, but holy shit. This city was a cash cow back then. And that's before QLZ came to town, because QLZ came to town in like 94, I think. Early 94, something like that. So, yeah, it was really, there was a momentous occasion. So, but that was in 1980. But you got to remember, in Springfield, I mean, it sounds great when I say it and you go, oh my God, for the nationally. And it was great for my career, because people, because word got out, this guy's ratings were this good. But let's be honest. Let's look at it realistically. There was only 3 radio stations. It was WYMG playing rock music. It was WDBR playing hit radio music. Right. And it was WNNS playing light rock, and it was WFMB playing country, and the rest were AM stations. So I brag about the great numbers I had in '88 and the great numbers that WYMG had. They were great, but there was only 4 FM radio stations in the city. That's it. Now, by the time when you start talking about my ratings with the Morning Disaster in the late 90s, those ratings really meant something because look at how many radio stations there were then. You know, there
Right.
were a lot more radio stations than when, you know, and if you look at the ratings I had in 1988 at WYMG as compared to when I won mornings with the Morning Disaster in 1997, 98, 99. I mean, we were in the ratings in 96, but we won in 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 2002. You know, if you look at those, we were the top station, but the numbers were a lot smaller than what they were in the late 80s because there were more radio stations. There were, you know, there was never 60% of all radio stations were tuned up to me. There was no more of that. So, you know, but yet the money I made, the money I was paid in from like 98 to 2005 was extraordinary for a market like Springfield, you know. It really was extraordinary money for Springfield, Illinois. And I think, you know, I'm thankful every day for that. Thank God now, because now guys doing radio now make nothing, you know.
I'm sure.
They give them like, you'd be doing mornings on the radio now and be making, I mean, I heard numbers. I don't know what's true, what isn't, but I hear you're lucky if you make $30,000 a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
I used to make 6 figures. Now you go down to 30,000 a year. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Because no one listens to the radio anymore.
Yeah, it's dying.
Nobody's listening to the radio. So the salespeople, if you wanted to buy a live commercial on Ray Lytle's Morning Disaster when I was syndicated, if you wanted to buy a live commercial, a 60-second live commercial would cost you, if you got a deal, $179 for one commercial. It would cost almost $200 for one commercial.
Wow.
And then there was a regional commercial that would air on both stations that was even higher, but
insane.
Or that would air on all when we were doing 3 stations. Oh my God, that was even higher. But I would do lives for Springfield, for Peoria, for Bloomington. And when they signed those contracts, you wouldn't just buy one. You would buy, they'd give you a deal. It'd be $179 per commercial, but you would buy so many per day for so long, the price would drop. So they made a lot of money on us back then. But I would personally get money for doing those commercials too. So the station would make money. I would make money. The producer of the show, who did nothing, would make money on those commercials.
Wow.
Like they would get a piece, and all they had to do was bring me in. They had to bring me in paperwork to make sure that I'd read it. And most of the time they didn't do that, but they would get paid.
Damn.
Yeah. Rocky missed out on that. Rocky should have, because Rocky would have written the commercial for me. It would have been even better. But he deserved to get paid for that. He wasn't around then when that happened. The producers, Nord and Brando, all they had to do was bring me paperwork. Most of the time, they didn't do it. But those were the times, man. Money was being flown out the window. And even near the end, money was still flowing. But then, like I said, now, I hear what guys are making now, and it's just like, oh my God, that poor son of a bitch.
That's just insane. People wonder why you don't want to go back to the radio.
Yeah, do your own show. Set up subscription. You don't even need a ton of subscribers. Just enough to pay the bills.
Right.
And you could say fuck.
Right.
Yep. That's right. I don't say it that much, but it is nice to know that I could get away with it.
Right. You can say it and not worry about getting in trouble.
Yeah, you want to know who cusses the most on this show? It's Steve. That son of a bitch.
As he calls him.
You ever regret not signing that last contract? Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what, Corey, in 2005, they offered me a contract. And I said no. Oh, fuck. That's the one I regret. That's the one I regret. Because that would have ensured that they would have to have paid me. They offered me a 5-year deal, and I only wanted 3 years at the most. But this was back. I'm like, oh, I don't see myself committing for more than a 1 year. And they offered me a 5-year deal, and I turned it down. Corey, that's the one I regret, buddy.
Oh, wow.
Because that would have paid me through 2010. Like through the recession. Remember the recession we had in 2008?
Mm-hmm.
I would have been getting guaranteed money. But the whole thing is, if they would have paid me that contract, it would have broke them. I don't know how they would have paid it. They would have had to fire people in order, Just radio as a whole they don't pay anything anymore. I think there's probably some salespeople that are doing okay, but
probably.
But I think it's because salespeople for radio, they're not just selling radio. I think they also they're also selling internet and Google ads and all kinds of stuff because we become a multimedia operation now. But radio it's sad. I loved radio. I could not imagine my life without radio. I would take vacations to some cities just to listen to the radio stations in whatever city that was. That's how much I loved it.
Oh, wow.
Now, I just turn on my phone. I just turn on my phone and I turn on the Bluetooth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Every time I get in the car, gotta set Pandora.
Yeah. I don't want to, and if I do, like, if I'm going to work out, I'll listen to like YMG and I'll just listen to some classic rock, or I'll click over to, what's the station that, Midwest Family has a classic rock station. It's called The Lake.
No
or I'll listen to the lake, which is like classic rock, but it's you know, it's a little bit, it's a different form of like, you know, you go listen to YMG and you'll hear Zeppelin, AC/DC, you know, stuff like that.
Right.
Listen to this light rock, you'll hear like you'll get things like you can do magic. You can do da 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 magic. I don't even know who does that song. You know, you'll get these songs from the 70s. But I listen to that to go work out, and then I come home. And that's the only radio I listen to. And that's just because I'm too lazy to turn on my.
Yeah, I have those moments.
I won't even. I'm too lazy. I can't even hit the auxiliary to turn on the Bluetooth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's not worth it. I'm just driving 5 minutes. You know?
Yeah. If I'm going a short distance, sometimes I'll just turn the radio. I go between, well, you know, me and my hillbilly music. I'll switch between.
Oh, I know you love that hillbilly.
FMB and what's the other one? The Wolf.
Do you have sex to hillbilly music?
No.
Do you and Dan put on hillbilly music when you're going at it?
No, we usually don't have music on.
What do you don't?
We should.
You have children in your house. What do you?
We've learned to be quiet.
Oh.
Yeah, we've learned to be very, very quiet.
Right, Brandon says podcast are where it's at. He says he finds himself listening to history podcasts quite a bit throughout the work besides the morning disaster podcast and episodes. Yeah. Dan says he'll listen to radio from 7 to 8 or when he drives the silver car because it doesn't have Sirius. Or in the shop because radio comes on when the lights do. Well, I don't know. Yeah, so Corey says he wishes they had a nice bluegrass station local. Bluegrass is a lot of banjos, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I like bluegrass. It's pretty cool.
Steve would smoke that bluegrass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me that bluegrass. Smoke a doob. He's ready to smoke a doob, everybody. Yeah. They call them doobs anymore?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Could you go into one of the dispensaries and say, hey, man, can I have a doob? Do they know what you're talking about?
I don't know, because there's probably some young-ass punks that work there, and they're probably like, what? A what?
Do young people even know what a doob is?
I doubt it.
When I was going to high school in the 80s, hey, man, you got a doob? What? You got a doob? I remember I didn't know what the hell that was. I was going, what's a doob? Did you know a doobie? And I go, what's a doobie? You know, some weed. I go, oh, marijuana? No one calls it marijuana. What are you, a square?
Yeah.
Square. I would say marijuana or call it cannabis. They go, what the hell's wrong with you, man? Well, I don't know. I don't drink. I drink, but I don't smoke. I don't, you know. I know nothing of this doob you're talking of. Man, you got to try a doob.
Yeah,
but now
all the current lingo.
These kids now are smoking this high end. You know, like back in the 80s, the pot was nowhere near as good as it is now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just people's homegrown,
Yeah.
stuff.
Like the stuff
Now,
now is so potent. Jesus.
yeah, mixed with everything under the sun.
Yeah.
Never know
Oh,
what you're getting.
yeah. Steve knows. Steve doesn't even smoke regular marijuana anymore. He just does the vapes.
Yeah.
You think he's still vaping even though he has the flu?
Knowing Steve,
You think he's
yeah,
break?
I'm sure he's still smoking.
Yeah. Dan says, "Don't feel bad, Ray. I still don't know what a lid is. I have no idea what's a lid. What's a lid? Is a lid a hot term or is it?"
I think it is. I think it's just whatever you can fit in a lid.
I don't know what a
Holly
quarter.
would probably know.
I don't know what a quarter is. I know a quarter is so much because Jimmy used to always talk about, "Hey, I just got a quarter."
Yeah.
I mean, like
Just
a
the
quarter.
weight.
Jesus.
I think I'd be more keen on all this because I was around it quite a bit when I was young, and
Well, I imagine you smoked a lot of
people
weed.
weighing the baggies, and
Oh, I bet.
I didn't. I wasn't a big pothead. You think I would be because I mean, I was practically raised around it. I'm not saying I haven't smoked it, but
The piggin looked like she had the munchies quite a bit.
oh, she had the munchies, but not from smoking. She was just addicted to the food.
Biggin definitely looks like there was some munchies going on. Just saying. I know it's cold today. Are we gonna get negative temperatures or?
Ugh, I don't know. I hope not.
Because I know originally in the original forecast, I think it was Wednesday and Thursday. I don't even think it was above zero for the high or something, but I think they changed that.
Oh shit.
So it's gonna be cold. Like
Tomorrow night's -1 for the low.
I need someone to go to the post office for me today. And I know who I'm sending. So
Oh yeah.
she better be wearing a mask or she can be. So I don't need the visual effects of it.
Oh, I already told Dee when I talked to her the other day, I'm gonna mask up because Ray gets sick. I will never hear the end of it. Ever.
Yep.
Although I've missed you so much, I think I should give you a big hug and kiss when I get
Oh, you're very sweet, but no. You are not allowed to touch me. It'll be wonderful to see you. However, you are not allowed to touch me.
there. Mm-hmm. I can see it now. I walk in and he's sitting there with the Lysol spray. Get away from me.
I was ahead on my comic book videos too.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'd recorded a bunch of comic book videos and I would put them out every day. But now I've gotten behind. So I'll have to record new ones today. Ugh.
What do you mean? Ugh. I thought you enjoyed them.
I enjoy it, but it's a lot of work, you know. I'm not gonna lie. It's a lot of work to record them.
I was actually watching one of your videos. Was it
Thanks.
last night before? Big stack of comics.
Well, I
like,
found out that that's what people like. People like when you have an excuse to hold up a bunch of comics. They just like seeing what you have. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like if I'm just talking about one comic and how good it is, I don't get the views Like if I say, let's see, if I say, okay, here's this, here's this. People like when there's a bunch of comic books in one. That would get more views. That seems to get more views than just me talking about one book and one story.
Right.
But people want you holding up a people want you holding up. They don't want to just see you. Like they don't like the videos if it's just me sitting there talking. They don't care. They care less. They couldn't care less about that.
Right.
So I've learned that. I've learned to talk about series, but show them the books. They seem to like the books. So that's sort of the plan. But I have to do new videos today. Get ahead of it. Oh, look at the time. Look at the time. We've gone over.
Oh, wow.
Well, Steve, I hope you get better, buddy. I missed Steve's felonies being up on the show.
I'm sure I'll have plenty to share when he gets back.
This is when it comes to comic, Ray's an exhibitionist and likes to show people his big stack.
Oh, he had a big stack.
I'm such a geek. I'm such a freaking geek. I really am.
That's all right, though.
Yeah, but I like being a geek.
That's what makes you happy.
DA says no discussion of the meet and greet. There wasn't a meet and greet, though. We canceled it Saturday morning. Steve and I canceled it when we found out Christina wasn't going. Yeah. So I was in no hurry to get back from St. Louis on Saturday. Yep. I was in no hurry. But eventually when I got back, I watched the Saturday Night Live concert from Friday night.
Yeah.
I watched the whole thing and I loved it. It was fantastic.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it.
Even watching 80-year-old Cher.
Yeah, that was good.
Good Lord.
I couldn't believe. I'm like, God dang, look at her. Like she still looks good.
Yeah. She's 80 years old.
She's had so much work done, but she looks good.
Damn, being 80, that's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Yeah. It's just nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon says, yeah, and the one time Jason was able to go, there wasn't one. Poor Jason. But Corey says, Ray, the last bunch of comic videos have been a bit braggy. Look at me and all I have just saying, oh, sorry, Corey. I didn't mean for them to be braggy. I'll have to watch that. Oh, well. Corey wants to know what I thought of Post Nirvana. I thought Post Nirvana was great. I thought Post Malone playing with Nirvana was really, really good. But the best act was Paul McCartney, who was actually on Sunday Night Show. When Paul McCartney did the medley from the end of Abbey Road, it was friggin' unbelievable. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because
that's great.
That's the last Beatles song ever done. And to see him do that on the 50th anniversary was cool as hell. That was awesome. Anyway, all right, guys. We'll wrap it up. We'll come back tomorrow. Hopefully, Steve will be back. If not, Christine and I will take you through. We'll take you through the Industrial Revolution tomorrow.
Yeah.
Where Christina will hit us with all the historical facts of what happened. And she'll talk about the Coolidge administration.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be on tomorrow's historical podcast. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, everybody. So long. Bye.
Bye.
See my foot, John.
Oh, God. I did not miss that at all.